Hello? 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 Oh my god. I kind of missed out a little bit. Wait. Um. Yeah. Oof. There's this thing they call. I don't know. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That thing loud. That thing is loud as. Okay. Should we go full on volume? Okay. Yeah, I can hear the entire thingy. So we're talking about Werewolf by Night, but before we do that, let's set things up for now. And while we're setting things up, how is everybody doing? Like before I slept last night, I just watched Werewolf by Night. So I was like, oh my god, there's so much to watch before we could even like get to like something Spider-Man-y or things like that. I don't know. We're not gonna see Scar. We're not gonna see Scar in Spider-Man No Way Home. Uh, that would be a surprise if we ever get to see him. Um, Anything else? Right now, let's just go to the ocean. Oh fuck. Yeah. Doomsday Prep She-Hulk. We're done with She-Hulk. There's nothing much to say when it comes to Werewolf by Night. But finally, right? Like horror horror movie, or like they're taking in much more mature freaking scene shows or movies. They good freaking special. I watched in color and be and white, black and white and color. Um, yeah, color is freaking better. For me, color is freaking better because the color they just intently like made the color so freaking vibrant. I wish it was like that for every freaking color freaking thing, man. How they colored it, how they lit it, like how the fire looks when it comes to like when somebody is like on the tuba. Was it the tuba freaking thing with the huge ass freaking trumpet with the freaking fires coming out of it? That was like, crazy insane. Like I watched it and it was like crazy. I really liked it. I like the color. Um, alright, let's just like notes in there. Like anything else for our agenda today. Uh, darker stories. Taking on darker stories, but they can't just do fucking Blade. uh, One darker freaking stories. Much more. Yeah. No horror movie. What is in here? Oh yeah, Ted. Oh my god. That's the name of the fucking monster. Yeah, it's my fucking name. I'm in this freaking movie, man. And all I do is freaking yell. I wish I voiced that freaking guy. I'll be like, nah, I can't do freaking tunnels yet. and like freaking really low god rolls. What else in this freaking movie? I guess it's gonna be a short one because it's just an hour freaking thing. Yeah, it's gonna be a short doomsday freaking prep. We're gonna be like doomsday prepping every now and then, man. Like every fresh out of the every time I freaking come out of it. So it's probably like once a freaking day. Depends on how fast I eat up the fucking series and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be freaking faster. And than what we came for. But yeah. Alright. Anything else? What else we wanna talk about in here? I'm just like stalling now. Um, yeah, this is just about what we're gonna talk about. Oh, is it a horror freaking movie? But they're trying to like go close to the freaking horror freaking aspect of it, right? And when it comes to Werewolf by Night, it's their take on the freaking horror movie, but it's like a horror movie like made back in the golden days of freaking cinema. Like by meaning golden days, let's say around somewhere around the 50s to the 70s, 50s or the 70s, 50s, probably 50s. Probably like around the 50s era of freaking Hollywood. That's when like things like this like were popped out. It's very crazy how they like made it. It's very referential to to that freaking era. Even though I haven't watched a lot of 50s freaking movies, I know that freaking feeling because somehow there are like movies that we watched that are close to that, right? Back when I was a kid, yeah. They pushed movies like that back in the day. And it's kind of hard to be able to like find old ass freaking movies back then. Like to be able to like get a hold of like an old ass freaking movie to put like an old ass freaking movie too is very freaking hard back in the day, especially in the 2000s. It's hard to be able to get a hold of it, especially here in the freaking Philippines, where everything else is like a bootleg of what is popular and what is new. But yeah, there's still freaking ways to be able to like watch it, but be able to like watch kind of like crazy ass freaking things, especially when it comes to Bible freaking movies. When it comes to Bible freaking movies, yeah, it's very close to those. It's very close to this one. It's very close to that freaking era. How that the movies that I watched back then. Like Bible freaking movies. Yeah, there was in that freaking era, and it was close to that, but and it feels nostalgic the way they were shot and how it was shot, the high freaking contrast, freaking lighting that they were able to do. That it's just the huge as vignettes, high contrast. It looks freaking good, man. I like the freaking look, especially when it comes to a much more high definition cameras to be able to like take in these freaking images, but it was lit like how it was lit back in the day. It looks good. It looks good when it's executed very well, and it's executed really well in this freaking time, and it was shot for the purpose of black and white, right? For the purpose of black and white and how it was lit like that. And it was crazy as insane to be able to like see it like that, especially in black and white. And then I've watched it too in freaking color, but watching it in freaking color, we don't get to see much of the face paint. The face paint seems to be undercut, but it's still freaking there. But it looks so much cooler when it comes to the black and white area because uh yeah, it's just black and white. It's just contrast between light and freaking dark, and that like creates contrast between the freaking scenes, and it's much more defined into what is freaking going on. But yeah, when it comes to Elsa Bloodstone wearing red, that is crazy. But like in the color, you'll be able to like see Elsa freaking Bloodstone and how she freaking looks. Now she was rocking that freaking shit. It was like red freaking thing. And the way in the crypt too, in the crypt shots where it was blue and freaking thing. Yes, it shines blue. The blue light is so freaking strong that it's like turning the freaking red freaking suit like greenish and shit. That's when it's like probably problematic because you don't get to see blue light up these freaking people. Wait, let me see. Let me look at it again. Let me look at the werewolf by night. Wait, I'm gonna look at a little bit and then let me skip to freaking things with bits and pieces of it to be able to like really understand it. Yeah, the blue freaking light in the crypt, but she's still like freaking red. No, but it's just freaking darker. Yeah, it was lit freaking blue, but it was like a very dark eyes freaking movie when you see it too. But like watching it, it's kind of nice. Especially when you get to see the lens, though the lens flares. The lens flares look freaking cool. There are freaking markers in the freaking movie too. Like screen markers we get to see. What I understand when it comes to like screen freaking markers, my understanding about it is from Fight Club. My understanding of it is from freaking Fight Club, where when it comes to those freaking markers, you're supposed to be able to like set the next set of freaking film. Those markers is for the operator at the freaking back to be able to like set up the next freaking film to be able to have a seamless transition. That's yeah, that's what I know about it. But that's really cool. Like one of those guys is in pure freaking white, and all those freaking hunters have no shot. Have no shot fighting freaking Ted. Yeah, he just freaking melted that guy. Like hold his freaking hand and it's like freaking melted. That is freaking funny. And the freaking ending too was freaking funny. The guy with the axe. Yeah, the Bloodstone freaking thing I don't know much about when it comes to freaking Bloodstone, but watching this in black and white and freaking color, like either one you they choose is still freaking good. Because the black and white, it knows the freaking it contrasts freaking well. You understand where the freaking lighting is. You understand the freaking composition and lighting of the freaking of the freaking movie. When it comes to my experience, when it comes to like shooting freaking stuff, right? It's much better to shoot freaking black and white to really understand the photography of freaking things, because when it comes to cinema or movies, it comes from freaking photography. It's not from freaking well, the performances of the freaking people that came, the acting came from freaking theater, but the medium itself came from freaking photography. So you came from freaking black and white into freaking color, but understanding putting in color in later, uh, having freaking black and white in the freaking aspect is just a matter of much more understanding of composition and how things are being lit and where the subject is compared to its freaking background, because it's just a freaking understanding where the brightest areas in the in the freaking image, and where the darkest freaking ones. If it looks freaking flat and shit, it doesn't have that freaking kind of contrast. That's why good freaking black and white photos are like high contrast freaking things that sometimes they take, and like low contrast. But like when it comes to a greater cinematic feel and greater freaking the decision, the direction of like having a darker freaking thing, which means it's moodier, a darker composition or a darker freaking shots, which means the event is much more. It's been shot at night. No, that's one more thing. It's been shot at night. It has a darker freaking presence to it. The image is much more moodier, much more dramatic. It's much more impactful towards the freaking viewer when it has a certain kind of freaking contrast to it. I wish there were like I wish most of the freaking movies are like shot like this, but it's just not, right? Yeah, but it's just the way it added freaking color feels like watching something come up from the 80s. Like something come up from the freaking 80s and be like, holy freaking shit, it looks freaking cool. Especially looking at Ted. Yeah, Ted looks freaking amazing in this one. Especially with red eyes and green freaking body. Yeah, it was freaking fun. It's a fun freaking horror movie. It's a fun horror movie to watch. I don't know. Like most horror movies are fun to watch, man. They have like some kind of sense of freaking adventure, but it turns up the freaking gore. It turns up the freaking threat levels towards the freaking yeah, the threat, the feeling of threat, the threatening freaking feelings that it is in there that scares you. It scares you, but it takes you into an adventure. Like really good horror movies are like that, right? Yeah, when it comes to this one, it's kind of like that. Takes you into an adventure. Sometimes when like good horror movies, sometimes for me when it comes to like takes you to an adventure, there is a freaking good as motivation for uh each freaking character. And when it comes to it's nice also when it comes to horror movies to have like a little bit of social commentary to just kill off the people you don't like when it comes to uh when it comes to social actions that they have done in the freaking world that feel that warrants freaking a person's freaking it puts you into a fantasy and being watching them freaking dying. That seems freaking fun for me to freaking watch. Uh, yeah. Anything else about it? Yeah. This feels like an adventure freaking movie for me. It's not freaking horror, but it kind of like it's turning into that freaking horror aspect, right? Yes, because it's just like hunters and freaking monsters and all those freaking things. But it's like nice. It's a nice freaking movie to be able to watch when it comes to like this one. Also, freaking Bloodstone, and then when it comes to Jack becoming a werewolf, the Bloodstone we don't get to be explained much, but like when it comes to this freaking guy, like Ulysses, like somehow turning himself into a freaking puppet, like after after freaking death, just to like crack up a freaking joke and just to be able to like have this final speech after his freaking death to be able to like say to those who are gonna take over the mantle of like carrying the freaking bloodstone and everything else. That seems freaking nice. I like this freaking movie. I watched Colin in black and white. That's Marvel taking on darker freaking stories. When it comes to darker freaking stories, this is darker. Now this is much. This is a step towards that, but they do. I think they're trying to gradually go darker and darker and darker, right? To gradually ease out the freaking audiences to their usual freaking audiences or the usual freaking target market, which is probably grown up, like probably under 20s already, like their usual freaking target market, which have grown up like from their tens from 10s to 13s, their teens. Now they're probably in the workforce and probably adults already. In this freaking situation, so probably like have a much more mature freaking thing to retain all those freaking audiences that you have gathered all throughout the freaking years to be able to like watch something in much more akin for them. Themes that are much more darker and much more mature that are these freaking audiences be able to like take on so that they could grow up with you also, you know, so that they won't be like treated as a bunch of man babies, and so that probably the stigma of like a bunch of people watching and reading this freaking watching these kinds of freaking stuff aren't be able to be treated as a bunch of man babies. Well, in fact, the themes have become darker and much more mature, especially when it comes to the freaking comics area. I've seen that. I've seen, even though there are stories that are like lighter and freaking aspects how it was told, but it's like tackling freaking very mature freaking stuff. And a lot of those freaking things would be coming from freaking X-Men. X-Men deals a lot of those freaking stuff, especially when everybody is fucking everybody. You'll be able to like take on much more complex relationships towards each other, right? No, no, that's freaking X Men. Like that's 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 how I see fucking X Men, man. Everybody fucking everybody, you know. Like everybody fucking everybody. The intense freaking situations between everybody else and those freaking things. Isn't like saving the fucking world very much your freaking take on it too? Well, the way you save the freaking world and how you freaking save the world, right? The way you achieved it towards a freaking better world. The themes of going in there and what it takes for people to be able to, what it takes to convince people to be able to do those freaking things. And sometimes there are like kinds of thinkings people have, right? And that's like X-Men. X-Men, and that's why I kind of like X-Men because of that freaking thing. And my only X-Men reference, X-Men that I watch is New X-Men probably. But I've never like read the entire freaking thing. I've read a little bit of New X-Men, but I've read Cable and Deadpool. Cable and Deadpool I've read, and that's kind of X-Men-y, and a lot of it when it comes to not Krakoa. Yeah, yeah. There's this freaking city. What the hell is the city that has been attacked by freaking sentinels again? Uh, Krakoa. Krakoa, right? I don't know. I forgot about it. It was quite a while ago. It was more than one freaking decade. Yeah, and the way I was able to read them was just bootleg, bootleg sale. Yeah, because I have no freaking money to buy that amount of freaking comics. Then I live in the freaking Philippines. There's no way. Yeah. And there's no way. There aren't any comic book shops for me to be able to like find those. You have to travel 7 freaking hours to be able to like go to areas where there might be comic book freaking shops, but it doesn't like give the entire freaking story too. Yeah, which is kind of very difficult to find freaking comics here where I am. Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard freaking one. It's hard to freaking understand, and it's kind of like weird. Um, yeah, the access to it is already freaking difficult, and like growing up, I would have wanted to be like become a comic book fan, but there's just restrictions from evangelists, like come from a Christian evangelist freaking background. It's kind of like hard to be able to understand freaking comic books too. Especially when you're wanting to watch, wanting to read this like Lucifer, like something like that, right? Lucifer or Dream, uh, like Batman probably, but like the darker freaking Batman, like Hush or uh, those freaking kinds of stories. But then One Bad Day or something like that. Yeah. Right. Right. Oh yeah. When it comes to this, I need to talk about more about Werewolf by Night. Yeah, having things that are much more darker freaking themed. A blood freaking sport for the succession of wielding the bloodstone. At the end of it, like Elsa Bloodstone, like was able to do it. I don't know much about Bloodstone, but it's nice to be able to watch it there. Dracula and all those freaking things. That would be a bit fun. Yeah, like this would be like a great integration of like darker freaking ones like Dracula, probably the vampires, Mephisto. Who else do I know from the freaking dark ass freaking places? That those are the freaking two that I know. Uh, when it comes to Dracula, I know it from freaking Deadpool because he stole Dracula's freaking wife, which is Shikla, and they had a freaking good ass freaking wedding, and their wedding is like their cover page for the freaking wedding had like so many freaking people on it. It's insane. Yeah, that was like Deadpool freaking runs back in the day. Back in the day, it was well, yeah, it was 2016. It was like 10 years ago too. It was kind of 10 years now, right? That is crazy. Like, look at the time I was freaking fine, so freaking fast. Yeah, and I'm not very updated as to what is going on in the comic book areas now. Sad. and I cannot afford like if they like localize it or like regionalize if they regionalize the Marvel freaking access that thing, if they regionalize that Marvel freaking thingy, I would be like taking in on it. I would be humping on that freaking subscription, but it's not freaking regionalized. It's way too freaking expensive for me. Anything else? Marvel taking on darker stories. Yes, Ted. Ted looks freaking crazy. Because we share the same name. He looks freaking amazing. It was amazing in the freaking movie. And yeah, the way there's the gag that Ted comes back to freaking save him, to save Jack. That is freaking fun. It's fun to freaking watch Werewolf by Night, man. It's good. I think he's Mexican, right? I don't fucking know. That is fucking stupid. Already calling him a freaking Mexican just for the sake painting freaking paint on your face to honor the dead. Yeah, I don't think that's completely completely like chalking it up to that. That is freaking stupid. I don't know. I don't know who else paints their freaking faces to honor the freaking dead, and especially when it comes to that kind of freaking face paint. I don't freaking know, but this is diversity. DEI higher diversity higher. That's like 20%. Like was it? Is it 2% or 20%? Like I've seen it when it comes to the tax credits. When it comes to tax credits, it just gives more. There's more. You're getting more percentage credits for having diversity freaking hires, which is kind of insane. But yeah, it is like that. What else? Horror movie. Yes, I'm watching this like a horror movie. I think we like stick it up to probably 30 minutes because it's just a freaking hour of a freaking movie. There's not much to freaking talk about here. There's not much the way it looks, what it takes, like what finally taking on the much more adult freaking audiences. It's not like taking in other audiences that are just there. It's just probably retaining like for much more mature freaking audiences. It's just because the audiences have freaking shrink. It's just that the audiences are still freaking there, right? The audience has been there. It's not just a wide when it comes to higher freaking rated freaking movies. Yes, yeah, you have like a smaller freaking audience, but it's just like yeah, we don't need crazy ass freaking budgets to make it work. Just like this one doesn't feel like crazy ass freaking budget. It looks like crazy ass freaking budget if you shot in the 50s. But for Marvel, nah. They can put that much freaking money during this freaking time. They can put that much money, but these days, I don't think Marvel has that. I think they've drained the freaking well on it, right? I think the well is about to go dry when it comes to freaking budget and doing whatever the fuck they wanted to freaking do. They tried to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and sometimes the freaking woke agenda isn't like freaking accepted that much because when it comes to it, it just feels very preachy, and most of the freaking audience that are in the freaking middle are don't really care about. Most of the people who are like watching it don't really care about it, right? Most of the freaking people that live in the freaking normality or what it is, and living in the freaking internet, living in the freaking internet, you understand it, right? If you're chronically freaking online, you're gonna be able to see shit that are just crazy ass insane, right? If you're chronically freaking online. And that's what freaking happened to me, but sometimes pulling back on it and just watching seeing the freaking world as it is, yeah, it barely even affects you sometimes, but it's just like this AI freaking thingy though, it affects us all. Like if I could say one thing that it's just gonna affect us all right in the next freaking in the coming freaking years, yeah, this AI freaking thing is gonna affect us all. Whether we like it or not, this is the next freaking big thing that's gonna come up. That's probably harder to contain than a pandemic. Why did I get to that freaking thing? Because probably we should like talk about it. Probably, Age of freaking Ultron, like Age of freaking Ultron, like said it not. It much more relevant these days. But anything else about Age of freaking Ultron, man? Age of Ultron would be nice. Uh, yeah. So Doomsday freaking Werewolf by Night is just not even gonna see anything from Doomsday. There's just no way. Well, probably the magical, darker freaking aspects we're able to see it, but probably Elsa freaking Bloodstone. That's we're gonna be able to see, but like Werewolf by Night, nah. Elsa Bloodstone, that would be like nice. That would be freaking nice, yeah. Elsa freaking Bloodstone. Elsa freaking Bloodstone would be nice. Yeah, she's like the Van Helsing. Yeah, like the Van Helsing of freaking Marvel. Is that it? Is that what the Bloodstones are? Yeah, Monster Hunters. Ah, alright, that's about it. That's Werewolf by Night. I've yapped about it, but not too much to be able to like talk about too. I don't know. Like remote ass freaking places too, and putting like remote ass freaking monsters into those freaking places, you know? Like when it comes to remote places, you go Eastern Europe, probably yes, but there's like Southeast freaking Asia, South Asia, East Asia. There are like freaking places in there where you can like find freaking monsters locally. That is just like crazy insane because we're able to like weave in like local freaking folklore into the monsters that we are able to like find and be able to like integrate. I like it. Like Grim would be like nice, but supernatural, like something Supernatural was crazy insane because it had like something in that freaking area, right? Something like Grim or Supernatural. Yeah, some things in those freaking area. Or like Trece in freaking Netflix was kind of nice. I freaking liked it. I've read the freaking books. I've read the comic books up till book freaking 5. But I've like lost all those freaking comic books. I left it and gave it all away. Should have kept it. No, those are like really good as comic books, Trece. Yeah, those are like comic books and because comic books, local comic books were like something that I was able to get a hold of. And Trece was one of those. I wish I got more freaking comic books to be able to like see in the local freaking scene, but it's kind of hard to freaking pick one. Is there like a Comic Con Manila or something? There is kind of something like that. There's something kind of like Comic Con freaking Manila. There's something, but it's just comics too in the Philippines. Yeah, yeah, that's about it. Uh, yeah, that is something to be able to talk about. Able to talk about when it comes to Werewolf by Night. Anything else about it? Nothing much. Yeah, the Bloodstones, the introduction of freaking Bloodstones. Marvel taking on darker freaking stars, that would be nice. I wish I could like make something darker too. Like, what are very dark Marvel freaking stories? Uh, it's kind of hard to find, but there are ones. There are. It's just the tone for every freaking Marvel movie has been kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy gave that freaking kind of like formula that really popped off freaking Marvel and like made everybody love freaking Marvel at that freaking time. But yeah. The fandom is still there. The fandom has grown up. The fandom has grown up to have freaking kids. But there are those freaking kinds of stories that are taking much more, Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. But if you're gonna be able to still keep selling the same old freaking stories, it's gonna be boring. That's why they're trying to freshen things up with DEI freaking things and darker stuff. Yeah, but the darker freaking ones, it seems kind of freaking successful. When it comes to more Werewolf by Night, I think it's kind of successful, right? Right. Yeah, it's a 19 Rotten Tomatoes. People really like this. It's really good because it's really good. It's really good. Last night I watched it in freaking color, but like black and white would be nice. Yeah, in black and white. And then next one now, Wakanda Forever, right? Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming by the stream. It's like 30 freaking minutes, but it it's just about it. I'm gonna go watch Black Panther now and be able to understand the story of freaking grief and all that. That would be crazy, insane kind of thing to watch. That thing would be like a good ass doomsday prep because a lot of new freaking stuff has come up there. But that was like 2022. Probably the guy is a freaking teenager now. T'Challa is a fucking teenager. Probably like bringing it. Nah, there's just no way. Probably much more later. Much more freaking later when he's kind of like 18 or probably 16. He's probably kind of 16 now, right? He's probably 12. Like probably 12 in that plus add freaking 4 years from 2022. You know? Like, or like a completely recast or like somebody from different freaking universe will become T'Challa or like a freaking reset. They're gonna reset the entire freaking universe because there's just too many freaking things and too many mistakes. Why not just start with a clean slate? And now they're gonna start off with a clean slate is through Doomsday and Secret Wars. Secret Wars actually. After Secret Wars is kind of like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. That's much. That's all we're gonna be able to like say. Yeah. We're done. We are done. We're done with Werewolf by Night. It was like really good.